everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today on Coding Out Loud, we're going to be doing something different. Big surprise. Today we're going to be hacking on an idea that I had for a website that is going to be a centralized place for all things mechanical keyboards. And the idea is that, I've kind of fallen down the rabbit hole of mechanical keyboards over the last little while here, and trying to find parts that I'm interested in to build my own keyboard has been frustrating, to say the least. And so my idea is to build kind of an aggregator of all of the different sites online, and this is going to be a long-term project that basically scrapes all of these sites, keeps a database of all of the different parts and all the different configurations that is very easily searchable. And then hopefully, we can get some affiliate revenue through sites that actually have some kind of affiliate program. But that's not the main goal. Right now, the main goal is to basically just get a site running that shows the parts that are available on multiple sites. That's kind of our main goal for now. So the other problem is we also want to have some kind of flag in the database that shows like this thing is in stock and this thing is not, because one thing I've noticed in going to the various sites across the internet is a lot of them they have their shop page, but everything is out of stock. And so it's like, what is the point of even going to this shop when literally I can't buy anything? And so the idea is that by default, this site will only show what's in stock so that you have a clear understanding of what's available right now at this very second, or at least within the last day or so, because I figure the scraping will probably happen once a day kind of thing. And so if there's stock of that thing that you're looking for, great. If not, just come back and check tomorrow. And the other thing is we'll probably have some kind of notification feature that will allow people to subscribe to notifications for a particular part, so that if we see that something is back in stock in a week or whatever, they'll get notified so they can go to that site and purchase it. We will not be doing any selling on our site directly. This is just going to be to link to other sites and get people to the pages that have the in-stock parts. So the idea is that is going to be, so the site is, we're calling it thoc.gg. Thoc is kind of the sound that a mechanical keyboard makes. And so the first part of the site is going to be the aggregation of in-stock parts. And so that part of the site will be the thoc stock. And then we'll also be building out a second portion of the site where you can go and kind of pick the parts that you want and kind of create your own theoretical build of how you want a particular keyboard to be. And that will be, and so you'd be mocking out that keyboard. So that would be the thoc mock part of the site. So hopefully the branding works there. And so yeah, so I think we should just kind of hop into it. The side quest we're going to be doing is I'm trying to teach myself Vim, which I'm not sure is probably the best thing for my mental health, but we're going to try it anyways. Pardon me. So I've already gone and bought the domain of thoc.gg. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to start a new Laravel project. Then we're going to install RoachPHP, which is a scraper library for PHP. And they have a Laravel adapter, which is good. And we're just going to try and figure this out. Again, just like all my streams, I have not pre-planned any of this beyond just what you see here. Like I haven't installed the project. I haven't read up on the documentation beyond just making sure that it is a scraper kind of thing. We're going to be figuring it out as we go. And then the goal within the next hour and 45 minutes is to actually scrape at least one vendor. And I've just chosen Divinity, for no particular reason. It's just the last site that I was on. And so I figured, might as well give that a shot. And so what I would like to have working by the end of this stream is a Laravel site that can scrape a page and give us some basic information about the products on this site. And so, I guess we'll just dive into it here. So we're going to start a new Laravel project. So Laravel new thoc.gg, thoc.gg. So we're going to use Breeze. The only reason we're going to use Breeze is because eventually when we do the Thok mock part of things, we want people to be able to log in and save their builds. And so Breeze will allow us to do that. We're going to use Livewire. Yes, we want dark mode support and we want pest. We would like to initialize a Git repository. And so while this is running, because it's going to take a minute, I've got the documentation of RoachPHP installed, or sorry, up here. So basically we'll just be installing this adapter using the composer require, and then publishing their config file, which is just the Roach service provider, and it'll publish a RoachPHP to their config folder. And so it looks like we'll be creating a spider. The Roach package looks very similar and looks to have a very similar concept as Scrapey in Python. It has a very similar structure from what I when I was quickly skimming through the documentation here. Okay, which database will your application use? We'll use MySQL. Good stuff. And copy this. Installing the pest plugin, good. Cool. Okay, composer require RoachPHP Laravel. Get that installed. And we will publish. I don't think there's going to be much that we actually need from this, but oh. Thok.gg. Okay. No publishable resources for tag. Okay, interesting. Let's go vendor publish just by itself. Is there one here? Does not look like it. Okay. That's fine. I didn't think we needed to do anything like that anyway, so we'll just quit out of here. Okay. So we're going to generate a new spider. So art roach spider, and we're going to call this divinity spider. There are no commands defined in the roach namespace. Well, isn't that interesting? Oh, because we did not install package in the right place. Okay, so what is not working here? Roach requires PHP core, blah, blah, blah. Requires monologue. Requires Laravel frame. So it only supports Laravel 9. Composer JSON. Oops. Laravel adapter. Composer JSON. Laravel framework 10. Okay, so that should be fine. Where's Laravel framework 9 fixtures? If we do composer require W, will this force update? Cool. Okay, that's good. And then what else do we need to do here? Okay, yeah, so the art roach spider divinity spider. Okay. Oh, and I guess we can try and publish those the commands or the config. Cool. All right. So, okay, so we've generated the new spider. So they do provide a REPL, which is just a smart, like a little shell where we can kind of maybe not practice, but like play around with how the spider actually sees a particular site. And so it gives us the ability to play around with before we actually start writing like full code kind of thing. So if we go art roach shell, and I have divinity open here, and we're just going to use this product page here. And so we'll paste that in, and let's see what happens. Okay, so how do we access this stuff? Okay, so don't care about that right now. Don't care about that. Let's see, basic concept spider. Okay, so do they have interactive shell? Okay, so URL is the URL, blah, blah, blah. So if we go response, and so what are we looking for? The first thing what I'd like to pull out is the, actually let's split this to the right. Okay, so first thing I want is this title here. So like this will tell us like the product name kind of thing. So inspect, and so it's just an H1. Okay, cool. So if we say response filter H1 text. Okay, cool. So it's getting the text of that of the H1. Okay, so that's good. So I'm gonna make a document here of the things that we're going to need. So we're gonna say title is that. What else do we need? Let's shrink this a bit. Actually, you know what? Let's close that and go back to the pre-order, and we're just going to do it from here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need obviously is like the price of the thing. So what is this going to be? So it's a strong class price current. Okay, so next question is, how do we, is it just using, well, let's try it. Okay, so if we say response filter, we're going to hope that we can use just like normal, I can't even think of the word right now. Like the usual, okay, so we cannot do that. So if we say strong, okay, so it's just pulling the first one, which is not what we want. So, okay, so filter strong. Okay, so how do we search spiders? What are we looking for? What are the how would we access something that has a class on it? Running spiders, blah blah blah. Passing additional context. Items. Okay, so no, that's not what we want. Processing responses, maybe response object. Okay, storing metadata. Accessing the request selectors. Okay, perfect. Here's what, okay. So, okay, so I really don't want to use XPath because that's so ugly. I was hoping we could just. Oh, okay. So maybe I don't have to put a space. Strong. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's the price. So that's good. Okay, so we're gonna say price. The next thing we're gonna want is the description of the thing. Inspect. Okay, so product description. Div product description. Div product description. Oh, product dash description. Okay. Cool. Description. And now the other thing that we care about, and this is a really kind of common thing in the keyboarding community that I've found, is that they'll have one listing. So like this Boog 75 keyboard, but they'll have kind of 3 different variations of it. And so we're going to have to figure out how we can pull the variation information, because obviously right now, like, so the induction coil is going to be an individual thing that someone's searching for versus someone who wants the shockwave. And just for the record, like the shockwave is like this black and green configuration. The induction coil is like a beige and brown one. And so we have to figure out a way to pull that information while the data is literally just being updated in the DOM. So if you see here, so if we change Shockwave, where is the price? Okay, so if you watch over here on the price, that's going to update each time. So there's some JavaScript that's obviously like pulling the data from like some kind of JSON or something, and updating that price dynamically. So we really need to find kind of the source of where that data is coming from. So if we change here, so it's not doing a pull from that. So it must be coming directly or originally from when the page is loaded. So let's go like this. Let's refresh the page. And let's see if we can find the from where the data is. So product code, this would, it's forbidden, no pricing information in there. Okay. Cart.js, no. Badges, product ID, no. Yeah, product country we've already looked at. Shop is just the information about the shop. Products, no preview, payload, response. So let's clear this and refresh one more time. On site. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Full forms. Views. I feel like this is literally just like actual forms that it's asking to display. Cookie timeout, GeoIP, poster contest. Yeah, these are actual forms. Let's see, is there anything about price? PRICE, space girl, poster, print, no. Okay, so that's not what we're looking for. Country. It just has the currency stuff in it. The widget is... Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at... where are we here? I'm wondering if there's like inline data elements as part of this that have variant picker. Let's take a look at this file. Not found. Okay, so does that interesting. Sticky scroll direction. Like this would suggest to me like this variant picker is the I wonder. No. Okay, so class data, that's the base URL. Where is the data for it coming from? And why is the variant picker not showing up in our network tab? Shop.js is not working. Okay, I'm going to clear this and let's refresh this page one more time. I did see variant picker show up there. Variant picker. Okay, so no, is this just the actual picker logic, or is there data in here as well? Availability updates the price. Okay, so where? This price or this section, query selector, product info price. Okay, so let's take a look at where that is. in this page. There's default. Okay, so that's just where it's updating to. If no price, query selector, update current price. Okay, is this data? Where is the? So this is a. Okay, where is the data actually being set? Because it's obviously. Update media, update pickup, update price. So where is this dot data being set? Update. Like this looks vaguely like a view component. Let's take a look. Storefront, it's been minified. Features, minified. Scripts, probably minified. Oh, minification failed. Interesting. Variant picker, yeah. So somewhere this object is getting the this data. So this get product data. Update weight, update barcode, update variant, get product data. Okay, so return this query selector type application JSON. Okay, so somewhere in the HTML, it's got a type of application JSON, so that's where we got to look. So let's go just inspect the page again. Let's go find in the head where it's looking up the JSON. Okay, so don't care about meta properties. Don't care about that because it's not application JSON. It's a bunch of scripts. Can we go application JSON? Okay. That looks like it could be it. Apple Pay shop capabilities, don't care about that. Shopify features, don't care about that. Script, application JSON. Okay, so here we go. So this is, let's see. That looks like a lot of stuff, but that's okay. So let's scrape this. So we'll go response, filter, and we can actually go back to the exact selector here. Oops. Okay, so that's going to be the first one. So we need, if we go back to the elements, script. No, it's still the same thing. So is there another way we can... okay, so how do we look at multiple options? Like if we get multiple things being returned. So, response... Accessing request, get request, using selectors. Items, does this tell us anything? No. Writing item processors, not yet. Score, blah, blah, blah. Scraping versus crawling. Okay, scraping. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's say, I wonder if this is going to work. Script. I don't think that's going to work. No. Oops. Okay, so we can't do it like that. Start scraping responses. Yeah. Let's take a look at the DOM crawler and see how we will filter out things. So, Okay, so access node by its position on the list. Okay, so let's try equal 1. Not that one. How about number 2? That is the correct one. Awesome. Okay, so we can copy this and throw it in here. So this is going to be our variant data. And what else do we need? So we got the title, the price, the description, and the variant data. I guess we could probably get, actually, I wonder if this includes pictures. Yes, it does. Okay, preview images are in there, so we can just yank the pictures out, which is good. Okay, let's see. Title, price, description, variant data. I think this is probably enough to get us going. So let's quit out of here and let's go. I'm going to hate this because this is my first real time using Vim. I got some updates. Update. Okay. Okay. All right. So we need the Dominique spider. Yep. Hide that. And start URLs. So what was our first URL here? Let's undo that. Insert. That's our first URL. Okay, so request deduplication item processors. Okay, so we're gonna have to build a processor and expected type generator. Okay, so how do we build a generator or a generator? So we do need stuff with the response. Okay, so storing metadata, store retrieve arbitrary metadata or with meta does not mutate. Accessing a request, access the request. Okay, so I think what we should actually do here is say art make. Let's make a model product with a migration and a test. Is there no test here? Art make test product test. Okay. And so again, we're just going to play around with this right now. So let's just say response. So let's say product create And we're going to say, of course, we're going to have to add all these as fields, but that's fine. So let's go back to here. Price is going to be that. Description, oops, description. Actually, we're going to want this as text. And so right now, variance, actually, yeah, so we'll go variance equals JSON decode. Actually, no, I think we're going to say we're just going to put the entire JSON in there for now. Again, we will not continue to do this. Okay, oops. Okay, so if we write that, define type. Okay, so this is going to be my first. GG, okay. Insert, use, app, models, product. Undefined type, app models, product. Did it not save it? ls app models. Okay, product is in there. It's just not seeing it. Okay, so type. I'm just going to make this void for now. Okay, so it has to be a generator. Okay. Define type app models product. App models product. Okay, so how do we create a generator? Oh, okay. So we need to do. Okay, so we're going to do this a bit differently. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. We are going to say, and now if I remember how to do this correctly, no, not like that. Darn it. DL. Whatever. I'm still learning, and I'm okay with this. Dollar. DL insert dollars, semicolon. That. And then, so we want to say yield this item with each of the things. Oops. So we want to say yield the title as, oh my God, I hate that you can't use the delete key. Title. And we're going to have to do this for all of them. So price will be $price. Description will be description, and variance will be variance. Okay. Okay, so now that's yielding a generator, which is good. Roach represents return value of our parsing callback tells Roach what to do next. So there are two options. We have extracted one or more URIs that we want to call next. We have extracted one or more pieces of information that we want to send through the item processing pipeline. Okay, so using a generator instead of just returning value. First results, this may not sound like. Okay, so we could also, so the item, it looks like, is the actual things that we're scraping from the page. Requests are going to be, let's say, like a link that we've found in that page, so we can spider the entire site and crawl the rest of the site, and then it feeds it into, so it's going to look for, if we give it like an A record, and this one is just saying like using the ID of details, but we don't have to do that. We'll just use the selector just like normal. And we can feed it through to this request to have it spider more pages. So if it finds any more links, it'll spider the rest of the site as well, which is kind of cool. For now, we're just going to do one link. Let's just see what happens here. So QA. So if we say art, roach, spider, divinity spider. Oh, okay. What? How do we run this? Is it not spider? Spiders. Okay, so once we've, yeah, so we're giving it that. All right. Override the initial requests. As soon as the initial request will be processed by the parse method of our spider, since start URLs is a property, we can only define static methods in it, static values in it. We can't add dynamic parts to the URLs at the current date. Okay. Options, blah, blah, blah. Parse overview. Configuring spider, defining spider configuration. How do we actually run this? Oh, roach run. Okay. Let's just see if it runs without failing. Didn't even get that. Okay. Current node list is empty. Interesting. Okay, so let's go back into Vim, and we will open our divinity spider. So we've got that happening. Do we need to pass in any middleware processors? Request get page URI. So let's just go like this momentarily here and say, just see what the response actually has. Art, roach, run, key, spider. Current node list is empty. It's not even getting to our DD. Just want to make sure that I'd saved it. Okay, I had not. Okay, so it is getting something, which is good. Let's take a look at, this is a long request and I don't know if it's at the top, so let's just scroll to the very top. Okay, so base href, yeah. Okay, so, oops, cancel that. Let's just, oops. What is going on here? Why is this? Okay, response. Let's go filter H1 text. Let's see where it's failing. Okay, so it's getting the title. That's good. Strong dot price current. It's getting the price. Okay. Div product underscore description. Yep. Okay, so it's not seeing the description now. So why is that? Does that, I wouldn't assume it changes. Oops. Product dash description. Let's try this now. Okay, so it's getting the data. That's good. All right, so what do we want to do next here? Let's fix the screen here. Okay, so we've got the data being returned, which is good. The next thing we need to do is actually do something with it. So if we go back to the Roach documentation, so comes into the parse. I mean, honestly, like if we say, and again, I'm just going to try stuff out here. So if we say product, create title, beautiful. We run the Roach. Okay, so it's going to fail because we haven't added those fields to the model yet. So that's good. So if we go product and if we say protected fillable, description and variance, and I know it's not name, it's title. Oh, did not mean to close it. Okay, so Unknown database. Okay, so that's cool. So if we go art migrate. Oh, actually, this is going to fail because we haven't done anything yet. Let's cancel out of here. We don't have the migration set up here. So we are going to do this. We're going to say table string title, table string price. And yes, we will convert this all to integers later. Again, this is just kind of hacking on this idea for right now. So we're going to say table text description because it's a longer field. And the variance, I think we're just going to have to go table text variance because it's the big long JSON string right now. Okay, so we can save that. And let's go art migrate. Yes, we want to create it. Cool. Now what happens if we go to the runner? Okay, so object of class cannot be converted to string. Okay. So the finicky spider 59. Okay, so what is it not like? So this is text. Oh, right. Because it can't be JSON decode if we're writing it to the database. So say DL $DL. Let's try this again. Cool. So in theory, if we go into SQL Ace, not into the stub squad one, can we just duplicate this? Perfect. And we're going to say this is thoc.gg and database is thoc.gg. Let's make this orange for now. Save changes and connect. Okay, so products. We have a product with a title, we have a product with a price, description, and variance. Awesome. So now what I'm wondering about is if we should even be trying to find the H1 tag or the paragraph tag and actually just pull out the variance information right from here and then JSON decode it into the values that we need. So what I'm thinking about here is, let's say we go into here and for the time being, let's just comment all these out. Actually, we want the variance. Now what we can say is we can say, so decoded equals JSON decode variance. And then let's just dump out decoded to see what we get from there. Oops. Right. So if we look in, let's just clear this so we can see how tall this goes. Okay, so in here is everything we need. And we can access it more kind of programmatically, which is something I always prefer to do. Because now, instead of trying to find, let's say, the H1 tag, we can just do like the variance products title and we'll have access to it. And if it changes, it's a lot easier to track. Okay, so vendor Melitrix, is there one without the pre-order tag? I wonder. But yeah, like you can see, like, so here's a the induction coil one, and then like the induction coil, what do you want to call it, variant. And then there's also going to be, I'm guessing, yes, the shockwave one, right? So here's the shockwave variant. So it's a lot easier for us to programmatically go through here and find each of these variants, because we really want to create a separate instance in our database for each of these variants. Because we want to be able to track individually which ones are in stock and which ones aren't. So if we go now and we say, so if we say decoded, sorry, what is our, so it's product and then variants. Okay, so let's go to, oh my goodness. Decoded product. Is it product or products? Product. Okay, so product variant 0. So what are we going to get from that? We're going to get 0 name. Okay, so this should give us cool. So that's the induction coil one. And then if we change this, let's say to 1, it should give us shockwave. Good stuff. And then the third variant is going to be the HE module. Okay, perfect. So this is actually exactly what we want. And it's what I would consider a better approach, because we know the structure of this is not going to change, or it's likely not going to change. And the reason for that is the data is being provided by Shopify. Like, this is a Shopify shop. And so we know that Shopify isn't going to change the structure of their data, because it will mean that the people who are developing the themes for Shopify will have to go in and update their code. So they need to give the theme developers like a common API to develop against. So we can kind of use that to our advantage and say like, hey, like, we need this data as well, so we can access it the right way, rather than like if the designers of the theme who want to change the H1 tag to an H2 or something, or change some semantics about the visual side of the page that we don't have a lot of control over. I'm a lot more confident that Shopify is not going to change things versus a developer who can do whatever they want, and they might have good or bad reasons to do so, but they have a lot more flexibility. So we're going to use the one that's a lot more set in stone. So what we can do here is we can get rid of all of that. And actually, now we can say JSON decode $, insert that. Okay, and so now this can go away, that can go away. And so we're going to do a for each products as product. No, actually we want variant as variants. Variants as variant. We want to make a product of the variant. And so we're going to say the title is the variant.name or arrow name. We want the price. So where is the price coming in? So 0, how are they saving? Ooh, interesting. Okay, that's the media. Okay, sorry. So variants here. So there's a skew. We're gonna have to deal with that later for when we're talking about. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get the product the skew as well. Again, we're gonna have to add these to our model. I'll say product ID is variant. So which one is which? Oh, skew. So SKU is going to be variant SKU. Yep. Where is the price? Taxable price. Okay, and it is okay. So they're actually keeping it as an integer. Okay, perfect. So we can go fix that. Variant price. Okay. And so let's just save that. I know we're not done here, but I just want to update our migration. So this is going to be an integer. Oops, undo that. Where is the error that it's complaining about? Okay, so can we close? Divinity Spider. And so now price will be that. Will be an integer. That's good. Oh, no, I guess we could have added the SKU as well, but that's okay. So what else do we need? We need the description. And so this is going, I'm assuming the description is going to be at the product level. Content. So they don't actually have like a, ugh, that sucks. Product description. Because that's a bunch of HTML that I don't particularly want to parse. I mean, I guess for right now, it's not the biggest deal if we just store that entire thing. The unfortunate part is that we're going to have to do a bunch of sanitization because obviously it is not safe to just present new HTML that we have no control over. But oh well, we will deal with that later. So description is going to be actually, so as for each variance, products variance, and this is going to be products because we want to return the entire response of this JSON, and then we can deal with kind of separating it out later. So we want dword product variant. Description is going to be product description. So title, price, description, variance. So D5W, actually we can just, so we don't need that anymore. Okay, so that should create 3 variants. So let's say art, migrate, refresh. Okay, so Oh, and we got to create the SKU in the migration. So that's what we want. Okay, so let us try and run this spider again. Undefined property. Oh. Product. What's the problem now? Variance doesn't have a default value. Okay, so we got to art migrate refresh. Do we have to do that again? No. Okay. I guess we just leave this open here for now. So title, price, description, SKU. Title, price, description, SKU. Okay, so why is it complaining about variance? Field variance doesn't have a default value. I think it's because migrate. We want to like basically drop the whole thing. Migrate fresh. Okay, so let's try and run this migration now. Still no. Why? Okay, so why is it trying to write field SKU doesn't have a default value? We're not getting the right. Getting SKU. Is that not what it's called? Yeah, it should be variant SKU. Let's just dump out the current variant just so we know what we're. Clear that. Let's run this and let's see what we're getting for the product. So, yeah, so it should be variant SKU. Okay, so it's getting it for the first one. Field SKU doesn't have a default value. Oh, that's because we haven't added it to this. There we go. Okay, so got the SKUs printing out. We have our spider here. And if we go look in our database, we should now see three things with. So this one's $89.99. This one's $2,226. Cool. Description is going to be all that HTML that we're going to have to deal with. And so we have a product now, which is awesome. So the next thing we want to do is we basically want to have our spider this site. So it's going to start here, for example, but we want to find all of the different products. And actually, one other thing that we need to get and that we haven't dealt with yet is if it's actually in stock or not. And so that's going to be interesting. So quantity rule, okay, doesn't need a selling plan. Available true. Okay, so I'm curious if available goes to false if it's not, like if it's sold out. So is there one here? Okay, so all three of them are in stock. Let's go to a different page. So keyboards, let's go to one that we know is going to have out of stock, and so we'll just go to like one that's sold out here. Okay, so both of these are showing as out of stock. So let's copy this URL, and instead of those, let's go add and let's, are we dumping out the variant? So let's say variant available. So it should be, okay, so yeah, so the two false are these ones, so the office page and monster fuzz. So that's what's going to tell us if it's in stock or not. So let's go edit our products table, and we're going to say, again, this is going to be split out to its own table because we're going to be tracking multiple different vendors carrying the same thing. But for right now, I just want to have, I want to track it just to make sure that I'm doing it right. And then we can kind of refactor it out into a separate table for like an individual vendor's copy of that product. Because for example, like, I'm not sure about Melitrix, but I know there are other vendors that have their own website, but they also sell on Amazon. And so we want to track those independently, as if like Amazon might have stock. So we'll show the Amazon version, but not the one on the Melitrix site, but they also refer to the same product. And so we don't want two entries showing up in our list when someone's just searching for like Shockwave, for example. We just want one to show up, and then it'll list which vendors actually have it in stock. So in stock. So let's art migrate fresh. Okay, so that should clear out those. We need to update our product table with in stock. And we want to do in stock is variant available. Cool. So we can let's just comment that out for now. And now if we run this, we should see two keyboards here, but in stock for these two are 0, which is awesome. And for these ones in stock is yes. Awesome. And we got the SKU. That's amazing. Okay. So the next thing we need to build now is the spider for this site. So to actually crawl the rest of the links, because I don't want to have to manually enter each product page. So there is a way to do this. It's just a matter of figuring it out how. So what we want is registering middleware and extensions for a spider. Component charge to it's passed to the middleware stack. Item processors. So every item that, okay, so an abstraction, data extract from web documents. Okay, so it's rather straightforward. API. All. So time will be created. That item will be sent through the item processing pipelines. Okay, so where we just were. Okay, item processor. Don't care about that stuff. all pages of this very documentation. Okay, so what I'm curious about is in this example they have, okay, oh, so they're just saying for this specific document. Okay, got it. Okay, so what we also need to do is there was like the yield a request, right? Okay, so we also so let's go down here to our parsing. So we're also going to add stuff about which pages. So pages equals response filter A. So what are we looking for here? So we want anything that starts with, I go here, this is not a, okay, yeah. So curious, yeah, if we just say filter A, and is this thing smart enough to, okay, so it is, so it can get just an A and get the links. Okay, so the only thing I'm curious about is in the config, if we go to the Roach config, like, is it going to go to other websites? Because some spiders will allow you to literally spider the entire internet. Others, you can set a, like with Scrapey, you can set a flag to say like only stick to this current domain kind of thing. Default spider namespace. Okay, so that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, so this will just, we can just literally just copy this. Because basically what we're doing is we're saying like just find all the links on the page, convert them to links, and then yield them as requests to spider out again. And so what is a request? Because I'm assuming like there's got to be a way to stick to the current domain, because the last thing I want is to just like literally spider the internet. So method, URI, parse method, options. Okay, so I mean, we can do some regex to make sure that it's matching like this domain, for example. Spider middleware, downloader, extensions, concurrency. Request deduplication. Interesting. Okay. Overriding spider config. Passing additional context. Blah blah blah. Curious what the request, oops. Request D. Oh, is it not going to let me look at that? Okay. So oh, request deduplicate. Okay, so it's already registered. So we assume that we're already not going to duplicate links. So like once it's got the link once, we don't need to see it again. So I'm still concerned about the idea of accidentally going outside of the current domain. So let's go like this. For each pages as page. Let's go dump page get URI. Okay, so this should just print out all of the URIs it's trying to visit. And if we see something that we don't like a domain that shouldn't be on there, we'll just Control C out of it quickly. So we'll get a fresh migration. Run the Divinity spider. Okay, so yeah, so it's already, so it's including TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So really what we want is just anything that starts with Divinity. So we can say if stir page get URI starts with HTTPS Divinity. Yep. Okay, so now in theory we should only be getting the Divinity ones. So let's fresh migration again. Must be greater than or equal to the current time. Interesting. Okay. So it's still including the YouTube stuff. So if string page get URI. Oh, right, because we're dumping it there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that we only want to dump it if it's actually in here. So page get URI. Cool. Okay, so now they're all just the Divinity ones, which is good. And so, in fact, what we really want, so we only want to pull the data when it's on a actual products page. So how would we do that? Because right now what it's doing is it's basically it's going to try and run this this parser and try and find this JSON on every single page, and that includes like the home page, for example. And the home page obviously is not going to have product information, at least in the way that we care about. So we need to figure out a way to only do the parsing when the URL matches a specific format, but this is our spider, so we want to spider the whole site to make sure that we're seeing all of the different products, but we only want to do the parsing itself on, on pages that match that specific pattern. So accessing a request. So is there a way to get the current page URL? So there's finding different parse methods. Okay. So what we really want then is, so we want to, the parse method is just going to do the spidering, and then we'll create a second parse method for actually pulling the data, and we'll only parse like send those when it's a product page. This is the way I'm thinking about doing it. So let's go like this. So we are going to, oh man, I'm just going to parse product for right now. And then we are going to go down here because this is about where we need to be. So we're going to say public function parse. And we need to close this one off. Okay, so we're going to say so it's always going to do this. Okay, so we're going to say, and this is going to be super ugly, but again, we're just trying to figure this out as we go here. We'll make it better later. Stir page get URI. So if it starts with https divinity.com/products, we want to yield this request get page get URI and parse product, else okay, so what we're saying here is if it's a product page, use the parse product method that we've created here. So I guess up here now we can say start URLs, and so really this can just be the home page now. https divinity.com. So let's just see if this works. So let's clear our tables. And are we getting stuff in here? Nothing yet. Yeah, I don't think, oh, okay, we got gift cards. It's fine. Quarter keys. Seeing the table grow, 194, 204. I mean, it looks like we have a working spider here. This is kind of awesome. $395. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm very happy with this. Well, I think if anything, this at least proves that we have a working idea. Now, whether it will actually turn into something useful is kind of remains to be seen. But at the very least, we have a spider that is probably actually reusable, because the other thing is, because this is Shopify and so many of these different keyboard vendors use Shopify as their e-commerce site, the code that we've written is very much not tied to Divinity. I mean, like, we have some hard coded stuff here, but this can be refactored out into like being a more generic property. So like, you know, if we feed it a list of domains, it will just make sure that you know, it's not in that list, for example, or whatever, right? Like this. But for the most part, like, the code to actually pull the data out of the page, out of this JSON, is pretty simple, which I really like, and should be pretty reusable. We will still keep, I'm thinking we'll probably still keep an individual spider per site, only because sites can change, and we don't want to, like, or I don't particularly want to lock myself into, a particular list of domains. But what we could do is we could extract like the parse product into like some kind of Shopify trait or something, right? So that this stuff here is all going to be the same regardless, and it will act the same for all Shopify type shops. And it's just a matter of like, when we're actually parsing it, where are we spidering, kind of thing, and how are we, what's the logic behind getting the spiders or creating the spiders. So yeah, so this is awesome. 1049 and still going. 1069. Yeah, like this makes me very happy that we were able to do this. Okay, so it failed. Okay, so the current node list is empty. Okay, I mean, that's kind of okay. We'll have to do some more error checking on when, like, if one of these values is empty, because I'm assuming that's what happened here, is that it came across like an instance where the product had an empty value in one of these fields, and so it just decided to stop. 1071. Yeah, okay, so that's the end of it. The other thing we'll have to do is, or actually, I guess we can do this right now, is we can say product. DD, so we want to say create or update, because this way, okay, so what are we going to look for? We are going to look for the SKU, I think, is the only thing we really care about. So can I just copy that? Of course not. I really got to get better at Vim here. SKU is going to be variant SKU, and that's what we're going to be kind of deduplicating on. So if we go insert comma that, we can dd that. So what this is basically doing is it's saying, okay, so go see if there's a product with the SKU of the SKU already, and then if so, we can update the title, price, in stock, and description if it hasn't changed, or if it has changed, kind of thing. So, okay, I think we're gonna call it there. We've made a ton of good progress here. I think on the next stream, and I'd like to do this more regularly, is work on adding tests. So right now, this is just kind of, we've just been hacking on this as kind of a proof of concept kind of thing. I think we can show that this at least should work. And so our next goal will basically be to make this a little more testable and repeatable. So we'll spend some time in Pest and write some tests to make sure that this is actually working correctly. And then we'll kind of make these commands, so like that we can run these from a single command. So like as we add a spider, we'll just have like a spider all command that will run through all of them, kind of thing. So for right now, I think we're good. Thank you very much for joining. If we go to our check, so we've got that, we've got installed Roach, and we've scraped at least one vendor. I'm good. Yeah, so again, bought the domain, we started a new Laravel project. We've installed RoachPHP with their Laravel adapter, and we've kind of figured it out, at least enough for day one. And we've scraped at least one vendor, Divinity. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you you come back in the next couple days, I will be streaming hopefully every day or every other day for the next little while we try and get this kind of built up a little better. And if you haven't, please follow me on YouTube and Twitch. It means a lot to me, and it helps me get seen by more people, which is always appreciated. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in to Coding Out Loud, and have a good one. Later.